I caught my best friend trying to steal my identity, and my life. I never believed someone could steal your life. Not just your stuff. Not your money. I mean your identity, your memories, your friends, your future. But that's exactly what happened. And it was my best friend who did it. We'll call him Liam. I met Liam in college. We bonded instantly, same taste in music, same dry humor, both raised by single moms. We even looked alike, in a strange way. Same height. Same haircut. Same lazy left eye. People used to joke, you two could be twins. We'd laugh. But Liam never did. He smiled, but didn't laugh. Now I think I know why. Liam had a hard time growing up. His mom moved constantly. He went to 5 different high schools. Never stayed in one place long enough to have real friends. When we met, he latched on hard. And honestly, I didn't mind. He was loyal, funny, and incredibly smart. He had no family, no real social media, no old friends. I was his everything. By senior year, we were roommates. He borrowed my clothes. Used my Netflix account. Ate my food. I laughed it off. That's just what friends do, right? Then, he started borrowing more than clothes. It started small. A coworker at my part-time job said, "Hey, you never responded to my DM." "What DM?" "On Instagram. You followed me last night and sent me that meme." I didn't. But Liam had access to my iPad. My passwords were saved. I changed them. Set up 2FA. Forgot about it. Until the next thing happened. Someone tried to open a credit card in my name. Then came the fake LinkedIn profile, my name, my face, my school, but a different email. A classmate found it and sent me the link. When I confronted Liam, he laughed it off. "Dude, people steal identities all the time. It's probably just a scammer." I believed him. I wanted to believe him. Until I walked into our apartment one day and saw him using my laptop. Not his. Mine. He didn't see me. He was copying files from my hard drive onto a USB. Photos. Tax forms. Password manager exports. And my resume. When I asked him what the hell he was doing, he said, "Backing up your files." That's when I started to feel sick. A week later, I got a job interview request from a company I'd never applied to. I checked the email. It had my name on it, my exact resume, but it was sent from a Gmail address I'd never seen before. I emailed the recruiter back and asked which email had submitted the application. It wasn't mine. It was liam.james94@gmail.com. I confronted him. I wasn't calm. I yelled. Demanded answers. He just stared at me, completely expressionless. "You have everything," he said. "Friends. A future. A normal life. You don't even realize how lucky you are." I asked him if he was trying to be me. His answer. "I think I'd be better at it." I told him to get out. Packed his stuff. Changed the locks. He didn't fight. He just smiled, like he won. And maybe, he did. Because it wasn't over. Over the next few weeks, weird things started happening. My phone number was ported without my permission. My bank froze my account due to suspicious activity. Emails from me were sent to professors, employers, and even my ex. Weird, unhinged stuff. My digital life was being torn apart. Liam had taken everything, files, passwords, even old photos of me. He had years of access. He was me, in every way that mattered online. I filed a police report. They shrugged. It's hard to prove intent. I hired a cybersecurity firm to lock everything down. Cost me thousands. I was exhausted. Paranoid. I didn't sleep. Didn't trust anyone. Then the worst part came. One day, I got an email from a woman named Ava. Subject line, "Hi, are you the real you?" I opened it, confused. Inside were screenshots, texts from Liam, under my name. Photos of him. DMs, voice messages that sounded like me, but weren't. He had met Ava online pretending to be me. 4 months. They'd talked about favorite movies, childhood memories, my childhood. They even had a video call. He used filters, deepfake tools, AI-generated versions of my voice. It was frighteningly good. But she noticed inconsistencies. Things I wouldn't say. Phrases I didn't use. So she Googled me. Found my real email. Asked if I was the person she'd been talking to. I told her the truth. And she helped me take him down. We built a case, her messages, my logs, digital forensics. The firm I hired traced the activity. IPs matched to Liam. Tools linked to his devices. Copies of documents he shouldn't have had. We pressed charges. Digital identity theft. Harassment. Online impersonation. It took months, but it stuck. He was arrested. During questioning, he admitted, proudly, that he wanted to rewrite his life by copying mine. I just wanted a better version of me, he said. And he had it. It's been a year now. I still don't feel safe. I check my locks. My passwords. My camera. Some nights I wake up thinking someone else is using my name. I see therapists. I talk to lawyers. I monitor my credit like a hawk. And I keep wondering. How do you heal when someone tries to steal you? I don't have the answer. But I'm still here. Still me. And that, after everything, is the one thing he'll never have. Liam was behind bars. That should have been the end. But if you've ever had someone try to erase you, not just hurt you, but replace you, then you know, it never ends that cleanly. It haunts you. Even after they're gone. The trial was set for December. He was charged with identity theft, fraud, impersonation, and a few cybercrime violations. My lawyers told me it was a strong case. Ava's testimony, digital forensics, the screenshots, the deepfake evidence, it all painted a disturbing picture. But still, something felt unfinished. Like I was missing a piece. That piece came in the form of an email. It was from someone named Ellie Harper. Subject: Liam James, we need to talk. The message was short. I saw your story on Reddit. I knew Liam in high school. There's something you need to know. Call me. She left a number. At first, I thought it was fake. Or maybe another game Liam had set in motion before being arrested. But curiosity got the better of me. I called. Ellie was real. Her voice shook when she spoke. She said, "You're not the first person he tried this with." My blood ran cold. She told me they went to high school together, senior year in Michigan, where Liam had only stayed for a few months. He'd arrived mid-semester with no real background, claimed to be homeschooled most of his life. Wore clean clothes, kept to himself, didn't talk much. Until he started copying someone else. A boy named Caleb. He started dressing like him. Talking like him. Then one day, he took Caleb's student ID and tried to pass himself off as him at a local college fair. Caleb's parents got involved. The school suspended Liam. But before anything else could happen, he disappeared. Moved away overnight. No charges. No justice. He does this, Ellie said. He finds someone, attaches to them. Then he becomes them. I couldn't breathe. Ellie offered to send me what she had, old emails, yearbook photos, a copy of the incident report from their school. It was all real. And terrifying. The next day, I visited Liam in county jail. I wasn't supposed to. My lawyer advised against it. But I needed to look him in the eyes. He walked in wearing the standard orange jumpsuit. Still calm. Still smug. "You came to gloat?" he asked, smiling. I slid the printout of Caleb's photo across the glass. "I came to ask why." His face twitched. Just for a second. Then, he leaned back. "You know," he said slowly, "I almost pulled it off." "Why me?" I asked. "You could have started over. Changed your name. Built your own life." "You don't get it," he said. "I never had one. Not really. My mom bounced from man to man. Cities. Shelters. Every time I started to become someone, we moved. New school. New rules. New lies." He looked at me. Really looked. "But you? You had roots. Friends. A future. People who remembered you. People who loved you." He tapped the glass with one finger. "I just wanted to borrow it. Just long enough to feel real." The court date came fast. He pled no contest. Didn't fight. Didn't cry. Didn't speak. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison, with a recommendation for psychiatric evaluation and digital restrictions post-release. It wasn't long enough. But it was something. You'd think that would be the end of it. But the real damage? That lives inside you. It wasn't just about stolen data or impersonation. It was about trust. I had shared memories with him. Secrets. Fears. Joys. He knew things no one else did. It took me months to stop looking over my shoulder. To stop questioning every strange email or friend request. To stop hearing his voice in my head saying, "I'd be better at your life than you." And then, one final twist. 6 months after sentencing, I got a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a single photo. Me and Liam, from our college graduation party. Arm over shoulder. Smiling. On the back, written in pen. "You got your life back. But do you even know who you are without me?" I burned it. Not out of fear. Out of refusal. Refusal to let him keep writing my story. Now I live smaller. Quieter. Smarter. I don't share as much online. I moved to a new city. Changed some of my habits. Kept my circle tighter. But I also live freer. Because no matter how close someone gets to your life, they can't steal your soul unless you let them. So to anyone out there who thinks identity theft is just about credit cards and phishing emails, let me tell you. The real kind is deeper. More personal. More violent. And if someone ever tries to become you, don't just take back your name. Take back your voice. Take back your story. 3 years passed. I rebuilt. Moved to a new city. Changed jobs. Reconnected with family. Even started dating again. For the first time in a long time, I felt like me, not the broken version Liam left behind, not the paranoid shell, but the man who had lived, endured, and survived. The nightmares came less often. The anxiety eased. Until one evening in early fall, I was walking out of a coffee shop when someone bumped into me. Hard. Spilled their drink on my coat. Apologized. I looked up. And froze. He looked like me. Not just similar, eerily so. Same haircut. Same jacket I used to wear. Same glasses. Even the same scar above the eyebrow, the one I got falling off a bike in 5th grade. I didn't say a word. I just stood there as he muttered, "Sorry, man," and walked away. But my legs didn't move. Because the voice was almost mine. And that walk? It was exactly Liam's. I didn't sleep that night. Checked the state database, and yes. He'd been released 2 months earlier. Time off for good behavior. He was out. No parole conditions regarding proximity. No restraining order in place. Nothing to stop him from returning. From watching. From trying again. I went to the police. Showed them old reports. Trial records. Letters. They shrugged. He served his time. Unless he makes a threat, there's nothing we can do. So I installed cameras. Bought pepper spray. Stopped going to the same coffee shop. Avoided old routines. But it wasn't enough. Because the second incident happened 2 weeks later. I was sitting in a local bar with a date. We were talking, laughing, when the bartender came over and said, "Hey, man, your tab is already paid." What? Guy at the end of the bar said you were old friends. I turned. But the guy was gone. Only thing left was the receipt, folded neatly, with a message written on the back. Still better at being you. I ended the date early. My hands were shaking. I didn't want to tell her why. I didn't want to admit I was still being haunted. I dug into everything I could. Created Google alerts on his name. Searched forums. Checked fake accounts. Burned hours on the dark web, on social media, on anything that might suggest he was building a new identity again. Nothing. He had learned. He was smarter now. Slower. More patient. A longer con. And I was just waiting for the next hit. But the third time. It wasn't subtle. I came home from work to find a package on my doorstep. No return address. No postage. Inside was a flash drive. And a note. Watch this. Or don't. You'll see it eventually anyway. My hands trembled as I plugged it in. It opened to a single file. A video. Black screen. Then, my face. Smiling. Talking. Confessing to crimes I never committed. Admitting things I never did. It was a perfectly deep-faked video, audio, movement, even blinking matched me exactly. Then it cut to Liam. Real Liam. Looking directly into the camera. Let's see how much the world really knows the difference between you and me. I was done being afraid. I sent the video to the authorities, to my attorney, to Ava, to my cyber investigator. This time, they took it seriously. Deepfakes were a threat to national security now. High-profile tech. Dangerous. We filed a restraining order, a cease and desist, and launched a preemptive cyber investigation. My attorney said, "We're not playing defense anymore. We're taking the fight to him." 2 weeks later, we traced the upload IP to a co-working space downtown. We got security footage. He was there. Wearing my old coat. Using my old name on the sign-in sheet. He wasn't trying to become me this time. He was trying to erase me. We had enough to charge him again. But I did something different. I met him. In a public place. With police nearby. Cameras ready. Controlled environment. I asked for 5 minutes. He agreed. We sat in silence. Then I spoke. "You don't get to own me anymore." He said nothing. "You tried to steal my face, my voice, my friends, my existence. But you'll never have the thing that matters." He looked up, almost curious. "What's that?" "My soul." He chuckled. "You think people care about that?" "I do," I said. And that's why you lost. He was arrested on charges of harassment, cyberstalking, impersonation, and violation of post-release conditions. Back to prison. This time. Federal time. It's been 6 months since that day. The air feels cleaner. My mind quieter. The weight is lifting. I don't think he'll ever fully disappear from my head. But the fear? That's fading. And what's growing instead, is strength. If someone ever tries to replace you, to rewrite your life, to shadow your soul, don't just fight back. Outlive them. Outshine them. Because the one thing they can never duplicate is your truth. The courtroom felt colder than it should have. Maybe it was the marble. Maybe it was the way he looked at me when they brought him in. No cuffs. No chains. Just a man in a suit, pretending to be something he wasn't. Again. Liam had been caught. The FBI had enough evidence: identity theft, digital fraud, manipulation, money laundering, and multiple counts of impersonation. But somehow, he pled not guilty. And that meant we all had to go back into the fire. The real me, the man he tried to erase, had to testify. So did Ava. So did 3 other victims. Each told a similar story. He made me believe I'd found the one person who truly understood me, and then used everything I said to take something from me. One woman had nearly lost her home after co-signing a loan with the fake identity he used. Another man had hired Liam under a false resume, then lost his company's data when Liam hacked their servers. My story? It was personal. He didn't just take money or trust. He took my identity, down to my social media, my speech patterns, even my childhood memories, things I didn't realize were publicly posted years ago. He didn't want to be like me. He wanted to replace me. When I finally took the stand, Liam looked straight at me. No remorse. No shame. Just fascination. Like he was watching his own reflection. The prosecutor asked simple questions. I answered with truth, nothing more, nothing less. Then Liam's lawyer stood up. Mr. Reynolds, he said, would you agree that identity is a performance? That we all curate ourselves online? I froze. Then laughed, bitterly. No, I said. Identity isn't a performance. It's what's left when the mask falls off. Liam didn't cure it. He copied. He stole. I glanced at Liam. He smirked. But Ava's testimony changed everything. When she took the stand, the room changed. Quieter. Heavier. She didn't cry. She read from a letter she'd written the day she found the truth. You said I was the only thing you didn't fake. But if that were true, you wouldn't have disappeared. You wouldn't have made me fall in love with someone who didn't exist. You weren't in love with me, you were in love with being loved. When she finished, Liam finally broke eye contact. The jury noticed. After 3 weeks of trial, the verdict came in. Guilty. On all counts. 15 years. No parole. But even that didn't feel like true closure. 2 months later, I received a letter. No return address, but I knew the handwriting. Liam. It read. Funny how prison strips away everything. Now I can't pretend to be you, or anyone. I can only sit with myself. Sometimes, I wonder who I was before I saw your face online. Maybe you were the last person I ever wanted to be. But the first person I believed was real. You won. But did you? I became the ghost. But you're the one haunted. I burned the letter. Ava didn't want to see it. She had started a new job. A new life. We didn't talk about Liam anymore. Except once. On a walk, she said. You know, I still wonder how many others are out there. People he pretended to be. People he almost became. I nodded. But I also know this, I replied. He stuck with the one identity he never tried to copy, his own. That was the end of the trial. But not the end of the story. Because people like Liam leave cracks in your soul. And sometimes, when it's quiet, you still hear echoes of the mask he wore. But the difference now? We don't fear the echo. We remember who we are. And no one can steal that again.